everyone. I hope you can hear me. This is Tessa speaking. Welcome to the Shima space. I hope you guys are all excited. Whilst we have the team together, we've got founders Sai and Yash, and we're going to have Jake as a co-host to back me up in case anything goes wrong. But yeah, today we're going to unpack the Shimapaper 2, all the things that have come about in like the last couple of months. So there's been a lot to unpack with the mag and the OC, the roadmap graphic. So it's very, very exciting. So yeah, I guess we'll start. I'm just going to make sure that everyone, like Sai and Yush, are speakers and connected. 1 sec, please. Okay, Jake, I think you're co-host now.
I'm here. I'm ready. First of all, can we appreciate that little tick next to my name? I'm verified. I'm ready.
You've been sucked into the vortex.
Elon's taking my money and he's running. But yeah, let's give it a few more minutes, T, see if we can get some more people joining in. And for the guys that are in the space so far, you know the drill. Bottom right-hand corner, share the space. Let's try and get as many people in there as possible.
I think we're just waiting on Yush to join. Okay, cool. He's requested. There you go, Yush. You should be approved. Hello, Yush. And now he's gone. There he is.
Hello.
Hello. Jake, should we start with talking about the Easter egg? So in the Shimapaper, there is an Easter egg and it is hidden somewhere. It's been added today, but it has been worked on this week. So whoever finds it first, congratulations for finding it. No one has found it yet, but just because you find it first doesn't necessarily mean you win the ultimate prize. Okay, there's something else you need to do. So I would suggest, whilst we're doing the spaces, to scan through the Shimapaper, not necessarily looking for changes because there have been some updates with videos whilst there were some Google issues. Google's not my friend today. But now that's all fixed and all the videos are working. So kind of look outside of the box and for something else that might take you somewhere else. And I don't want to say anything more, reading too much. But yeah, there's a special thing for you to find in the Shimapaper. Whoever finds it first. And then I think let's see how many people we've got. Got a few people joining. Hello, everyone. This is Tessa speaking, by the way.
Everyone's left to go and check out the Shimapaper.
I mean to reload it. That's another thing as well.
We should have told them at the end.
It's just the four.
No one's going to be engaged now. They're all just going to be looking through and scanning through the Shimapaper.
I'll be honest with you, Tess. So I am.
That's true. Yush and Simon don't even know where it is. It's the secret is between Jake and I.
Fucking always, every time. You two, nightmare.
We're the best. We're the best duo. But yeah, so the Shimapaper, 55 pages. That's huge. The last Shimapaper was 33, I think. So it's 22 pages of new content, new project updates. So it kind of just shows how big this project is and how much we've done in between. And I think how many slides? I'm just going to count now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 slides just on the community alone. Because you guys are all awesome. And without you, we would be nothing. So thank you. Community is very important. Jake?
I was just taking a seat back and listening to it all. But yeah, I think we should dive in now. People will join along the way. We'll just sort of cut it every 5-10 minutes and just remind everyone what we're doing. And let's dive in.
Okay, so I think maybe where we should start off, maybe try and keep it chronological with the Shimapaper and start off with maybe the lore, or besides, you want to reiterate exactly what the Shimapaper is about?
Yeah, sure thing. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the spaces. So as Tess has rightly said, the Shimapaper has been updated, volume 2, and we've got a bunch more information in there about the project. So we'll work through that on the spaces. I think most people will have seen the original Shimapaper, and hopefully will have had a chance to have looked at volume 2. So I won't spend time recapping on the kind of original ambition of the project, other than to say that, you know, we are fully aligned with the original roadmap we presented in Shimapaper 1. We've obviously completed the first drop of Lightning back in June, which was the entry point and start, and we're making good progress against the roadmap which we've presented. There's more detail in the Shimapaper which talks about some of the plans which we're working on at the moment and some of the developments which are underway. So I don't know how you guys want to play this test, Jake, but I mean, I almost see you guys as like the pitchers in this, and then Yush and I can help swing for the answers. Do you want to go through starting from the front end of the Shimapaper where we've made the most updates, and then we can work through it that way?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest things that has come into the Shimapaper is the Obsidian Robotics ecosystem graphic, which kind of revealed that the project may have been even bigger than you were all expecting. There's 3 accessory pack drops for Lightning Shima, and other utilities that are undisclosed. So maybe we want to start there with just highlighting and reiterating how new people and current holders can get into the project.
Okay, I'll take that question and start with that. I'm just scrolling down to the slide. So for anyone who's looking at Shimapaper at the moment, what slide is that on, Tess?
Slide 36.
Go on, right down.
You can press to skip the slide, Si. You don't need to tap all the way.
I'm tapping all the way.
You're tapping all the way.
It closed down on me by mistake just before we started, so I had to reload it. So yeah, I just want to make sure I get the detail right, which is why I've got it in front of me as well. I cannot see it, by the way. It's still loading on my screen. So here we go. Here we go. So the Obsidian Robotics ecosystem. So we started with Lightning, and the intention of the project is, you know, remains fundamentally the same. So the Metashima are AI robot companions, which are, you know, if we go back slightly, just to kind of suppose recap on the different areas of focus for the Shima themselves. They are upgradable, customizable robots that live in virtual worlds. They are AI enabled, and the way in which they've been designed, you know, harks back to kind of physical product design. So I think Ed did a really good job of talking about some of that last time we did a founder spaces, and just some of the thinking that had gone into, you know, how we'd approach the design right the way through to, you know, the utilization of the screen so that we can display different types of content. The Shima can communicate in different ways, is multimedia enabled, and, you know, we've gone as far as looking at, you know, how sound can play a role in the way in which the Shima communicate. All of those things have been discussed before, so I don't think that's new news. But in terms of the focus of the project, it's very much around your AI companion and the enablement of that and the deployment of that into different virtual worlds. You know, so we're working towards interoperability. I think we've also discussed previously that you know, some of the platforms that currently exist will change. They're quite nascent and early, and features will evolve, and I think we'll probably see new platforms evolve, and, you know, some of the ones which are the go-to examples today might well not exist in the future. So our project is very much focused on ensuring that we can provide the virtual AI companion that's deployable into different virtual spaces, platforms to come, as well as those that exist today and will evolve. And when we launched and dropped the first Metashima under the Lightning banner, that was kind of providing the kind of stepping stones and entry point, if you like, into a bigger Web3 entertainment experience that we've been building. So there are two elements to the roadmap fundamentally. One is the product roadmap for developing Metashima and its utility for you in virtual spaces. And the other is, and by virtual spaces, I don't just mean, a platform that might live online, accessible via a desktop or via a VR headset. We're also talking about the ability for those virtual robots to live in the real world. So to be accessible through AR and the blending or merging of worlds. We then have released and airdropped the Obsidian cell to all Lightning holders. That was there's been a bit of questioning around the purpose of the Obsidian cell, and hopefully the Shimapaper 2 helps to disclose a bit more information around its utility and purpose. But essentially, it's twofold. One is it provides a DNA type, and it provides utility for the mag itself, which is in development and going well. And it also provides how do I say this without giving too much away? Essentially, it's also a power source, or it's useful for future Obsidian Robotics products. So whilst the Lightning product is the first robot from Obsidian Robotics, there are other products which the Obsidian cell will be influential to, and being completely transparent about that. Some of that is known, i.e. we've identified how we want that to work, and some of it is still work in progress. We're still figuring some of it out, and that's that will be made and disclosed and be made more available over time. The mag, which will be coming early next year, is essentially the central play space, laboratory, home for Metashima Lightning and other things. And the Obsidian cell will provide a power source for that. So, in terms of getting full utility from the mag, the expectation, I suppose, is that holders and the community will have a Lightning and an Obsidian cell. Now, you don't have to have a matching DNA set, so your Lightning DNA and your Obsidian cell DNA don't have to pair in order to access utility in the mag. And the idea is that the mag, because it has utility beyond just the Lightning product itself, means that as new people come into the space and into the community, we want people to be able to access that through various entry points from the project. So there'll be other releases which will enable that. I don't know, Yash or Jake, if you want to add to that at all.
That was spot on, mate. Got it all covered.
Yeah, nothing from me. I think that's a perfect amount of information for now. I'm sure we'll be able to add to it as and when information can become available. We've always said that the Shimapaper will be forever evolving, and it keeps these eagle-eyed warriors on their toes.
Okay, cool. And then the gateway slide, which is kind of, I've been covering that slightly as I've been talking, is, I suppose it's just an easy, digestible way to understand how the drops sit together and what that provides people. We're not trying to, we're trying to do two things. One is we want to ensure that anyone who's a Lightning holder and can achieve full utility, and new people who are coming into the space who might not currently be a Lightning holder, can have several entry points. So it could be via Lightning, but it could be via other products in the future. But the mag is the kind of central space where a lot of the action will happen, where things like the training of the Metashima will take place, the customization, which we've talked about before, the storage, the inventory system, all of that stuff will happen via the mag. So yeah, so that's kind of, I suppose, a brief summary of the gateways and how those elements sit together. If I've missed anything, happy to take any questions on Discord or whatever after this.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone has any questions, please send them in Discord. I didn't want to interject you, Sai, but throughout your whole speech about Obsidian Robotics and the gateways, someone found already, well done, the Easter egg in the Shimapaper.
That was
so
me.
well done, Simon.
No, it wasn't me.
No, I know it wasn't you. But I don't know if they've found the prize just yet. So I'm just going to check, because they need to look around the room, and once you're in spatial, there's a lot. It's all community things that you guys have all made since we've launched. So well done for getting on the ball. Sorry, obviously we can't get everything, but it just showcases all of your lovely work. So look around for something where you could maybe win a prize, something that maybe isn't necessarily something you guys created, something from the team. That's kind of the clue, and that will segue you to the prize.
A lot of clues there.
There are a lot of clues there, maybe too many.
It's amazing what you're doing, Tess.
Thank you, Yash.
I think if they struggle to find it, T, we might we could be persuaded to drop the link in the chat, because I know there's probably people DMing this person. So Santo-san, stay strong, get your prize first, and then release the keys to everyone else. But yeah, we'll maybe at the end of this space we'll show the room, because it really is, like, to reiterate what you said, it's a celebration of you guys, the community. We've pieced together brick by brick every single contribution that we could find, and we'll forever evolve that. And Tessa spent the best part of the last million hours putting this together, so I hope you will appreciate it.
Thanks, Jake. I guess going back to the Shimapaper, we kind of touched on the roadmap in itself, but I think we should draw attention and highlight the Obsidian Robotics timeline. So Sai, Yash, whoever wants to just run through the timelines of things that we've got going on coming up.
Yes, you can take this one.
Sure. So obviously we released the Lightning collection in June, and it's been I think it's fair to say the crypto market in general and the NFT market in general has been an absolute roller coaster / shit show, especially the last week. And we've continued to focus on our roadmap, and I think what's really interesting for it is that we maintain quite a good focus on what we set out to do, which is deliver the Obsidian cell. We've got, and I think we've teased and shared some of the accessory pack that's coming out later in December. And then we're aiming to have the mag out in Q1 next year. There's lots of moving parts to the mag, which, we've obviously shared some of the design elements of that, but, there's obviously the infrastructure and the back end that sits behind that, which we're trying to work out as well. So, and then we've got stuff happening in Q2. So, I mean, in terms of what we've been up to, in terms of partnerships, in terms of building out new connections and new communities, the team have been mad at it. And hopefully we'll be able to share some of the fruits of our labour in the coming weeks as well.
Thanks, Yash. Yes, super exciting times. We've obviously got the accessories pack dropping soon. Expect some cool content coming in due course. Should we touch on more about the Obsidian Robotics gateways? There is obviously a lot to unpack, but I feel, and I think everyone has reciprocated, that this kind of clears up what holding what means what. But I don't know, do we want to say anything else on the gateways?
Well, we can walk through it. I mean, it's kind of written in a way so anyone who's viewing the Shimapaper, hopefully it's quite easy to grasp. But at the moment, so, one Lightning Metashima, equals one mag. So we'll be making a mag available to, at the moment, 4,720 Metashima Lightnings. And, if you hold multiple Metashima, as we know a number of people do, then, the number of Metashima you hold will equate to the number of accessible mags that you have. So, and, the mag will be an NFT in its own right. So, that's something that if, for example, you had 50 Metashima, but you might not want 50 mags, you might not need them, then obviously we want the ability for the community to be able to trade them on secondary. So, they will be NFTs, and, to access them, as I mentioned before, you'll need a Lightning and an OC in order to get full utility. So in terms of the Obsidian cell itself, holding one of those provides you with power for the mag. And as I mentioned, just now, it also provides utility for future Obsidian Robotics products. At some point in the not too distant future, we'll share more about what the product roadmap itself looks like. At the moment, we're just focused on the next phase of the accessories, delivery of the mag, and then beyond that, shadow. We haven't really talked more about what the roadmap looks like beyond that, but we will be sharing that information and making more of the story behind that available as well. If you were to hold an Obsidian cell and a mag, then having the combination means you can power and access the mag, but ultimately you'll need a Lightning to get full utility, because the way in which certain areas of the mag have been designed are specifically in relation to the Metashima Lightning product itself, which I'm sure everyone can understand. So the full benefit comes from having all three. If you hold a Metashima Lightning and a mag, again, you'll still be able to access the mag, but the Obsidian cell provides certain capabilities or has aesthetic powers within the mag, which means most people, I think, hold both Lightnings and Obsidian cells, and therefore the combination will give you full access, full utility, which is kind of what the next line, second from bottom, says. So holding a Lightning Obsidian cell and a mag means you can power, access, and have full utility within the space. And the last one, holding a Metashima Lightning, OC, mag, and accessory. We've got the AP one, the first accessory pack drop, coming soon, means you can do all of those things. So you can power, access, have your full utility of the mag, and also interact with the accessories. And it's important to say, actually, the customization or the configuration options don't just rely on the accessories you hold. So there'll be kind of generic configuration and customization possibilities, and then there'll be the specific ones which are unique to each holder, depending on what their accessory bag looks like.
Thanks, Si. Thank you for going through that, because there is a lot to take in, but I feel like everything is covered from that. Again, just to interject, so the person who found the secret location and the Easter egg in the Shimapaper, it was a massive community spatial. So Santozan, you found it, and you then also found the prize and filled in the form. So congratulations. You've bagged yourself a free Lightning Shima. Next, I can see you're standing by it. You're a little bit too late, sorry. But well done. Little taps for Santozan.
Great job.
Thanks. So a few more things that are new to the Shimapaper are the community initiatives. So whilst we launched the Shimapaper, we shared out a thread as well, kind of unpacking the two new initiatives that we are launching. This is on slide 55 and 54 in case anyone can't see it. But the two initiatives one was called House of Shima, and the other one is Shima Creators. Jake, if you want to talk about House of Shima, more your bag.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I'll start by reading off the sentence we constructed in the Shimapaper, because we're damn proud of that. But it's basically a collection of passionate Metashima community members who will work closely with the team, share ideas, and help develop key aspects of the project. So we're kind of ironing out how this is going to work from start to finish. We're pretty much there, but essentially think of this project as like a list of roles. So like you've got communication, there's marketing, there's law, there's the creatives, there's the economic side of things and our ecosystem. You've got security, which, you know, has been pretty big for us. It was one of our USPs when we first launched the Discord server. And I know Maximus and Zalotis have been carrying that. Then we've got like events with Miss Mergu, so the questing, the games, puzzles, etc. And then finally, definitely a director of vibes. So yeah, I'm really excited about the House of Shima. It's something that a lot of you have heard me talk about. It was kind of named a community team before. And again, it brings you guys closer to us. You get to really contribute and see what happens behind the scenes as we all kind of work together to build this thing up. So yeah, I'll post in the announcements when that's live. I imagine we'll have like an open forum where people can apply, just so we can all see which community member wants to do what, and you know what value they can bring, etc. So this will be for the community, chosen by the community, and then we'll go from there.
Very exciting. Thanks, Jake. And I'll talk about the second initiative. So Shima Creators, it's kind of self-explanatory in the name of what it entails, but it's kind of our umbrella term of a place where all of you can go crazy, make some amazing content, put Shima in some crazy and weird environments. Like, I just want to see it all. I'm super excited for this. That touches on with the 3D files, which we'll get to with Sai. One of you guys will talk about it. But one of the parts within the initiative is a Shima comic, and that came from, it was an idea we were toying with, and then when we saw all of you create the AI imagery through like Midjourney and Novel AI, it kind of stemmed into this, where we thought it'd be really cool if we started a graphic novel where you can slowly unlock parts of Ada's lore, because you all want to know, who is Ada? Who is she? Is she a she? We don't know. Is she AI? I don't know. I know. You don't know. But you guys are all going to unlock it, and it's going to be super fun. So that's to come. And then part of the initiative, we're also going to do just logo creation. So we need like a epic logo for House of Shima. So that's to come. And then the 3D files. We've seen what everyone's been creating in the space, and it's so impressive to see people who haven't got any like skills, kind of 3D skills, just learning through YouTube and from each other within the community is a really lovely thing to see, and we want to hone in on that. So 3D generic files are coming. Sai, please take the floor.
Awesome. The 3D files, I think we're going to release them next week. Yeah, that's the plan. Jake's going to drop some images of there's 10 generic Metashima which we've developed, which we're sharing. For anyone asking, you know, when are the individual 3D files coming? So for each of your own Metashima, they'll be accessible for the first time via the mag. The reason we haven't released them ahead is we need the mag to help unlock some of the functionality. But the other thing is where some projects you might have seen have released 3D files, but actually they've got a much smaller kind of base collection. You might only have anywhere from 8 to 20 kind of base models. Because every single Metashima is unique, that means that the release of the 3D files for each of the 4,720 as it stands at the moment is more complicated. So to avoid delaying those creators and people in the community who'd like to do more with the 3D files, because we have been asked a lot, I know, and I appreciate everyone's patience. We've just taken the decision to release the generic files to begin with as a kind of stopgap as we gear towards the release of the mag. So hopefully that'll be cool and everyone can have some fun. Those people who want to work with the 3D files can do so. We're releasing 10 to begin with, but it could be more, to be honest. It just won't be anyone's specific Metashima at this point, because that's, like I say, attached to the launch of the mag itself. Any questions or anything I should answer further on that, Tess?
Not for me. I know everything.
Yeah.
But maybe, yeah. So I have been tagged in a question with Jake as well. So if you do have any questions on what I just said, just ping it in Discord. So one of the questions that has come up, is there any extra value / utility in holding the Metashima and OC that match DNA? So do we need to get a matching DNA set?
So you don't need to have a matching set in order to unlock and get full utility from the mag. But there might be advantages to holding a set in terms of some of the functionality that in time we will introduce in the mag. So to begin with, it will be the same for everyone. The difference will be between the different DNA types. So if you hold an O1 or you hold an N8, then there'll be differences in certain things in the mag from that perspective. But in terms of having a set that match, the way we're planning to introduce that, we're looking at the moment, is that would be a kind of phase 2 implementation. So it's not crucial that you have a matching set at all. We don't want to. We obviously appreciate the fact that the OCs have been airdropped and then they're available for secondary and people can trade them, and therefore you could inadvertently detach an OC from your Lightning and on secondary sell it. So we don't want to, we're not looking to penalise anyone, if you see what I mean, for the fact they don't have a matching set. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. The main thing is that you've got an OC, which gives you utility within the mag, and then in time, the pairing or the matching set might provide some additional features. I think that's probably the most we can say at the moment. Jake, I don't know if you've got anything to add to that.
Yeah, just mainly about logistics. My favorite topic about OpenSea and verification. So the reason we've not added any extra value or utility for a matching set based on token ID and DNA is mainly because the Obsidian cells are in the hidden folder. So our deployer account that deploys our smart contracts isn't verified. So any drop that comes from that account is just going to end up in hidden. So if you were new to the project and you picked up a Shima, but you couldn't get the matching cell, I personally just think that's a little bit too harsh and a bit difficult. But obviously there's people that have held both, and they'll be rewarded because they'll have their OC ready to power the mag.
Cool.
I've just got a question from Nex. He has asked, if you have an A7 OC, will that give you all the utility for the DNAs that sit below it in rarity, so O1 through to A7? Or will each DNA of OC offer a level of unique utility? Can you just answer that and clear it up?
Yeah, be specific to each DNA type.
Perfect. Thank you. I don't think there are any other questions. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, but I think maybe it'd be nice to hear from Sai and Yush and say what you're kind of up to project-wise with Metashima, but then also any cool project updates for Dimension. I know today we had a launch of the I Wanna Dance trailer. That's a Whitney Houston biopic, and Dimension were involved in it. I don't think we can specifically say how, but we were involved.
We were indeed. And do you know what? I don't know how closely you guys followed some of the projects that we're producing. There was and I don't know how many of your followers of football, but we recently worked on a project with Puma where we recreated Neymar's digital double. That was an NFT gated experience where you got to see the virtual avatar of Neymar. Hopefully we'll be able to share some of that on our site soon and show you how incredible that was. And then obviously, as Tess was alluding to, we worked on I Wanna Dance, which is the Whitney biopic. There's loads of technical prowess that went into that, which we're not allowed to share, but at some point we'll get the green light from the studios and whatnot to be able to share what our involvement was. So loads of cool stuff happening. The team are working hard, as you'd hope. Si, anything more to add?
Just on the Puma, the Neymar project. I mean, that was actually part of the Puma Black Station Web3 launch. So I don't know if anyone was involved or followed it online or has been to the online experience, but it was kind of it was the start of Puma's kind of Web3/NFT strategy, and I suppose to a degree it mirrors, but it's in its own conceptual way, some of the work that Artifact have been doing with Nike and CloneX. But yeah, like you said, we were privileged to be able to work with Neymar to create his avatar and to bring that to life, and that was brought to life both in the virtual world that you could access by connecting your wallet as part of the online experience, but also there was an in real life fashion show with giant LED walls where Neymar was strutting alongside the catwalk, like alongside his own avatar, and all sorts of cool visual effects and stuff happening as part of Puma's New York fashion show. And there's more to come on that, so we're excited about that. And I suppose there's a big VR project we've been working on at Dimension, which is coming out in December, which is a project we've been developing for the last kind of 12 months. It's with an automotive brand. I can't really talk much about it at the moment, other than say it does lots of firsts, and we've cracked some real technical challenges, because developing high quality, like near photorealistic scenes on an Oculus Quest or Oculus Quest 2, which is essentially a mobile device, really, that's what it's powered by, has all sorts of challenges attached to it. So we're excited about that project launching and people getting sight on, pushing some of the kind of graphical fidelity and some of the ways in which we've implemented the UI and the UX to bring that experience to life. So that's one to look out for. And then we've got a raft of other like digital fashion projects which are launching over the next couple of months, or some of those lead into kind of Q1 with the February fashion shows. So yeah, we've been doing work with Puig, which owns Jean-Paul Gaultier, and we're working with a high-profile cosmetics brand. I can't talk about their name, but a lot of people would recognise it, and helping those companies to explore and unlock some of the opportunities that Web3 and kind of metaverse-based experiences is starting to provide, and the way in which stories can be brought to life in those virtual spaces. So yeah, there's been a lot going on, but obviously that's kind of separate from the team that have been working on Metashima. The Shima team are dedicated just on Metashima, with the exception of a couple of artists that float onto different projects depending on the point in time that they're needed. So yeah, Shima's kind of protected with its own team that have been working on the project since day one.
Thanks, Si. It's super cool. There's so many projects going on behind the scenes with Dimension and within Metashima. Obviously, I get kind of privy to it all, but the stuff that is public, with more Dimension, we're talking right now. There's been loads and loads of awards that we've been nominated for and have won just in like the last quarter. The David Attenborough project has picked up, I've actually lost count. It just keeps getting shortlisted and winning. So it's got so many awards. But maybe we can just touch on NFT London, because we were there last week, myself, Sai and Yush, and our plans to potentially be at NFT NYC and future events, and hopefully on some panels, because I feel like Sai and Yush are just experts in the field and they definitely need to be up there. It's my mission to make it happen.
Stop it, Tess.
I think you need to be up there, Tess. You are rocking it tonight.
I'm going to take a back seat after this. This is a lot for me.
So NFT London, right? Interesting event. There was some really interesting people there who really knew their shit, and that was really good for us to network and meet with them. We met some guys from Rug Radio who are really interested in doing some talks with us, and really fascinated by what we're doing. A lot of the conversations that I had when I was there, everyone was expecting Metashima. Those who weren't aware of it were expecting a PFP project. And as per the High Snobiety article, it was the reason it got picked up is because it's so different to what's out there, and it's the fact that it's 3D, the fact that it has a utility, has a roadmap that's actually had some thought around it, rather than just producing a hoodie or something like that. It was quite refreshing to hear from people who've already done stuff to say, fuck, this is something that I wasn't expecting and let's do something. So that was good. There was also a lot of chaff, a lot of nonsense being spoken about by people perhaps who hadn't done the project from start to finish, who hadn't concepted, got a smart contract, built a community, and produced a roadmap. There's a lot of that about, which I'm sure you'd expect. And so I think, as Tess says, our next step is to basically kind of actually share what we've learned along the way and share our roadmap and build a community out that way. I think we've got a lot of credibility in that space because we've actually done it from start and have survived what is a horrendous bear market at the moment, where liquidity and money is being pushed around different places, and the community is still strong, the product still stacks up, and so I feel like we're in a good position, especially based on the projects that I've seen that are getting funded or people are promoted. It's just, there's something very different and very unique about what we're producing, and it stacks up. And I think that's what we've got to be really excited about. And we've got a community that backs us, and so that's really important too. And I've listened to a few of the talks. You can kind of see where the cracks are, and I don't think we've got those. And so I feel quite confident about what we're doing. Si, you want to chuck in anything on that?
No, I'm just looking at slide 43 on the Shimapaper, and I'm mesmerised by the art series drips on those 4 that we've got on screen. I don't know how many of the community have got artist drips or even like them.
This feels like a typical work day. When I'm talking, you're engaged in something else and not listening to me.
No, I'm always listening to you. Always listening. I was just reflecting on some of the original ambitions of the project. Right, we wanted to kind of we see that what we're trying to do with Shima is a bit of a robot revolution. Okay, everything's virtual, right, at the moment, but who knows in the future where it might lead. But the great thing about being able to design products virtually is that you can be as creative as you want, and because of the way in which we've got lots of complementary technologies now that intersect to enable the capabilities to help bring these characters, these robots, to life in a virtual space, we can have so much fun with them. And I suppose, just to give you an insight into some of the stuff that happens behind the scenes in the studio, like personally, I love the artist drips, and we were really privileged and fortunate to work with Thumbs, Deladesso and JK's, and we've got other collabs which we're lining up, which there'll be more shared on. And I know they're not to everyone's taste, right? I like the robots that are completely clean as well, and everyone's got a different taste and on what they like. But Ed, who can't join us unfortunately tonight because he's been working his backside off on a virtual production project that we've got going on in America, which means he's working quite late nights. He actually isn't so keen on the artist drip. So we have this daily running battle about, to what extent should we push the art series? So I'd love to get, people's kind of perspective on the the work we're doing with some of the artists, because we want to kind of push the boundaries of what how people perceive robots. But it's interesting. Some of the team within Dimension love the art series style, and others are a bit more traditionalist in their robots and yeah. So I was just reflecting on that, Yush, to be honest.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, when you look at this, I've got my favourites. Right? I love the Venom one, and we've got artists lined up. We're talking to them about different aspects of the ecosystem that we're building. So designing bits of the mag and different whatever those things that are called dangling down. I fucking can't remember it every time.
The nodes.
Charms.
That's a word missing from my vocab. We've got, there's those things, and then there's also the different partnerships that we're trying to create as well. So we're in really deep talks with different platforms, and I don't know if you guys remember from the early conversations, right? We were always very conscious of the fact that what we're producing is really what we feel is really high quality. So they're 3D, they look real, right? They look like they could be tangible physical products, and we wanted that to be reflected in the worlds that we take them in. So, you know, you have to be a little bit patient and find those that are working in high-end platforms using the very best graphics cards, you know, using Unreal, using NVIDIA, using whatever, right, that allow us to be able to deliver on our vision without compromising the final asset that you guys get to play with. And that's been, you know, it's always been at the core of what we're doing. The quality is paramount. And so we're getting to those points, right? So we'll be sharing with you guys, you know, video content of the metaverses we're looking at going into. We're talking about some of the partnerships that we're forging, and you know, hopefully you guys are excited as we are, because you know there's a handful of players who are working at the sort of quality bar that we expect and hope that you guys can use the Metashima for. So we're really excited about sharing that going forward. I'll give you a clue, right? There's a company called Zone, ZOAN. You can go dig them out, see what they're up to. But they're very similar to us as a company. They focus on quality and been playing in this space for a long time.
Well, they're developing with the same technologies as well, right? So
yeah.
Helps.
Other than that, I got nothing.
Thanks, Josh. We've charms are now called dangly things. That's just what they're called now. So it's going to be updated on OpenSea. It's dangly things. Forget charms.
Don't do it.
Thanks.
I feel like we've covered everything. But if not, Jake and I will be in Discord. I'll answer some questions because I know I've been tagged on a few, and I'm sorry if I haven't answered all of them, but we will get to it. And I feel, unless anyone has any other closing remarks,
I've got one closing remark.
Okay.
My apologies to the community for not being present in Discord.
Oh yeah.
I've somehow managed to lock myself out, and I've been having this ongoing wrangling with Discord to try and get myself back in. It's not going to happen. I have to delete my account, shift my nitro, and start again. So hopefully I will be back in there next week when they've sorted all that shit out. So apologies for the silence.
It's all good. We'll sort it out, Yash. I'm sure there's a way we can get you back into Discord with your username somehow. I'll figure it out. Sai, do you need to have anything else to add? Closing remarks, say goodbye.
No, just to say thank you to everyone who's joined the spaces, and a big thanks for the continued support and commitment to the project. And yeah, like I say, we're happy to take questions in Discord, and if we've missed anything glaringly obvious, apologies. We'll definitely pick up and respond. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. And Jake, do you want to say anything before I end it?
No, they've had enough from me recently. I'll let you do your bit.
Never. We've never had enough of you, Jake. Well, we love Jake. I love Jake. He's my bestie. But thank you everyone so much for tuning in. It has been so fun. This has been my first hosting. I hope I did okay. I didn't press end, so we're all still here, so that's good. And I've definitely 99.9% pressed record. And if I didn't, I'm quitting tomorrow. I'm forgetting everything. That's it. I'm done. I'm sure I pressed record. Thank you, everyone. I will catch you in Discord and see you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.